good evening, or maybe good morning, or maybe maybe good afternoon. Welcome to a special edition of Coffee with the Clares. We are so excited to be back with you, aren't we, Claire?
We are, and like you say, this one is a very, very special one. It is our very first global live, so we are currently live on YouTube, European YouTube, American YouTube. We've got the UK Facebook and our American Facebook going. So I can see the comments absolutely flying in with everyone telling us where they're from. So hello, everyone.
Yeah, it's so exciting. I mean, welcome. If you've never caught an episode of Coffee with the Clares, basically we love to talk photography, we love to talk kit, and we have got some lovely things lined up for you tonight. You're right, Claire. Should we do a quick few hellos? Or no, do the T's and C's first, Claire. Go straight in with the T's and C's.
So every live that we do, we always like to remind everyone, don't click on any links that aren't posted by Olympus, be that Olympus Europe, Olympus America or Olympus UK. Do not click any links. These are all free live streams and you do not have to pay for any of them.
Yes, they are. We're getting popular, and you do get the scammers in there. Stay away from those. Stick with us. As I said, you know, as Claire says, all our lives are free. Why don't you do a few hellos, Claire? Let's have a look. I mean, it's exciting. So the little symbol means YouTube, right?
Yes,
so
yes.
How exciting!
We have a lot of people on YouTube. We've got Sean from Atlanta. We have got Susanna from Sweden, Joe from Ohio, Gerald from Denver, and then we've got some more close to home for us, Claire. We've got Steve Newman from sunny Bedford, and we've got Trish from sunny North Wales. So yes, wonderful. They are flying in as we can see.
I mean, honestly, it's so great that you've joined us, and we really do appreciate it. We hope that you enjoy the show. So, Claire, what are we here to talk about? Tell us.
Well, Claire, this morning at 7 a.m, we launched a couple of brand new products.
We did.
So what have you got there for us?
I've got two new products. I mean... So I'm going to quickly talk about the Olympus Pen EP7. It's an absolute gorgeous camera. If you ever use the Pen F or the EPL, it's almost like a sort of a hybrid of the two. It's actually got the colour and monochrome button on the front, which I absolutely love. I've been shooting with it all week. It's a cracker to pop in your bag, and it's just got loads of new buttons. It's got 2 dials. It's got loads of, it's USB charging, blah, blah, blah. So check this out. If that's the sort of camera that you like, it's absolutely amazing, and we have launched that today. But we're not really here to talk about that product today. We are actually here to talk about this baby. It is our brand new 8-25 F4 wide angle lens to sit within alongside all of our other pro lenses. So we've added one to the lineup, and it is a cracker. I absolutely love it. I literally got to shoot with it for one night. It's so sharp and so fast, and the reach is amazing, because, you know, you're looking at a sort of wide angle at the 8 end, but you're looking at sort of 25 or 50mm in 35mm sensor terms at the other end, and it's just a great lens. Obviously lots of features and things that we can talk about as we go along, but what I would say is if you've got any questions about the lens, then please put them in the comments and we will go over them. As always, you know, we've got some people that can talk about it. I can talk about it, but just let us know what you want to know about the lens. As I said, it's pretty awesome, isn't it, Claire?
Absolutely, and we have 2 special guests joining us today. We have Moises joining us from Spain and Justin from the United States. So we're going to bring them on very shortly to talk about the lens and to show off some of the beautiful images they've been shooting. Let's just have another quick look. I saw Chris has already pre-ordered her lens, so she was on it this morning, and we have a lot of questions flying in. A quick one on the price of the lens. So £899, $1099 and €999, and you can go ahead and pre-order that lens now.
Yes, exactly. It is an absolute gorgeous lens. I mean, what do you need to know about it? We can tell you everything.
I cannot wait to get my hands on it, Claire. You send it up.
You're going to have to wait. No, I don't mean that really. I don't mean that really. As I said, any questions that you've got, but also say hello to us in the comments. We've got a big audience tonight, so we may not be able to get through all the hellos, but let me tell you, as I scroll through, the little cursor getting shorter and shorter and shorter. Normally it's quite big, so you can see the comments, and it's much, much smaller. So there are lots of new people that I've not seen before, which is amazing. And someone said, I like those t-shirts. Yay, Olympus t-shirts, which you can get. The merch is out there. Okay, so Claire, shall we introduce our first guest?
Yes, let's do it, Claire.
So you may not be aware of this lovely photographer. His name is Moises Cugat, and he hails from Spain. He's done some work with us in the past and did some blogs for Olympus Passion magazine. An absolutely amazing photographer, and you are going to love him. He's absolutely brilliant. So let's bring him now. Moises, hello.
Hey, hello. I was not expecting this introduction. I'm blushing. It's not so amazing. The thing. It's this guy amazing.
Thank you.
It's easy for everybody to shoot with this.
So wonderful of you to join us tonight on our Coffee with the Clares, and we appreciate you taking the time out to talk to us and talk to our viewers about the lens. Did you enjoy using the lens? You've had fun with it?
Wow, I feel myself very lucky for it. I mean, when somebody at Olympus said that I was going to receive one just for 2 weeks, I said, no, just 2 weeks, no, please, I need more time. Yeah. Okay, but it's only 2 weeks, and I just love it. I love it because at the end, I was very curious, and I think this lens is really. It's really amazing because it's very special, because you have been talking about the reach of the lens, having from 16 millimeters to 50, from 8 to 25. For us landscape photographers, is giving a lot of advantages when we are composing and we are shooting this sky. We are shooting this sky that it's small and you don't have anything at the top. Then you want to focus in what it's interesting. Then in the sunsets and sunrises, then you don't have to change it. I mean, you just walk back a little bit and zoom it, and you have the same subject, but you crop this boring part of the sky. Then this is absolutely fantastic, and there is no other lens that can do that. Okay, then only for this is wonderful. And it has a lot of more advantages. I don't know if you want me to talk like so much.
Don't worry, we will stop you if we feel we need to move on. So don't worry, I'm always good. I'm good at stopping you. I mean, I love your passion for this lens. It's so gorgeous, isn't it? I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to go straight in to, now don't forget, as I said, if you've got any questions for Moises, put them in the comments and we can go to them. It's always good to see what you're thinking, and if you would need to know anything about the lens, obviously Moises has used it in the field, but now we're going to show a few of Moises' images. So have a look at these. They are stunning. Gav, there you go.
Oh wow. Look at that.
Yeah. This one is a fantastic place. I mean, you can shoot this place in any angle, and it's always a big photo because it's really, really, really great. In this case, I was trying to frame the building with the tree and get this leading line of the starting by the corner. Then I shoot this one. This one is just 6 seconds exposure, F8 or F9, something like that, and the lens makes it easy because it doesn't have a flare. You can shoot directly to the light, to the sun, then which is really wonderful, and you have all this zoom range that you can manage it really, really well.
Yeah. I mean, the one thing with the new technology, we've added things like fluorine coating to the lens, and it means that the flare has been massively reduced. Obviously, if you're a landscape shooter,
massively,
you know, if you are an outdoor lover, then obviously you are going to, you know, appreciate less flare when you're shooting. And this is ideal for that subject. So, and where is this shot, Moises? This is shot in Spain?
Yeah, we were in lockdown at that moment. Then I can only, I'm from Catalonia, then I can only travel inside Catalonia. I cannot exit Catalonia. Then this is one place called Puigdemont. And yeah, this is in Spain. All the photos with the 825, unfortunately, because I was planning to go further, actually, I got the lens when the volcano in Iceland erupted. Then I tried to get a ticket because I said, okay, I go to Iceland and I will ask Olympus to send me the lens to the hotel, okay, because I will be in quarantine there. When I will get the lens, I will shoot amazing photos in Iceland. I will do like, because then it's so easy, you know. And at the end, I could not get a ticket. Everybody was decided to go to the volcano. In Iceland were more people at that moment than in all the rest of Europe, believe me. Yeah. No ticket.
But I think it's also nice to get some of these shots, you know, local to where you are. And I know Claire and I have been shooting a lot more locally rather than traveling. And it's just, you know, the more you shoot different locations that you're used to, maybe with a new lens makes you think a bit differently about it.
And makes you a better photographer because, again, going to Iceland is like doing like...
Yeah.
And then this way you have to plan, to think, to go and to try to find the good angles. And this is one of the advantages. You don't need the tripod. You can just do different things and find the best position. And after that, if you need to do a long exposure, you can go. But this guy is making everything so easy. You know, it's making your life easier as a photographer.
And you've got lots of love from this photo, as you can see, popping up the comments here. Beautiful photo.
Thank you, Samuel. Hey, Tom.
Moises, great shot.
Tom, I'm a super fan of you. Wow. Yeah, I'm shocked, man.
Yeah. So we got a few questions coming in. I mean, obviously, we are trying desperately. There's quite a few questions coming in, so hopefully I haven't missed a few. But yes, the filter thread is 72 millimeters. You do get a filter hood in the box. The joy about this lens is you can attach filters directly to it. Some people are saying the difference in weight between the 7 to 14, it's a bit lighter. It's about 90 grams lighter. You know, the 7 to 14 has the 2.8, which is brilliant. And this sits alongside it. It's not a replacement. It's absolutely sitting alongside those. And yeah, I think there's a few questions out there. Some people are saying, Dave Watson-Kamek has said, is the new lens weather sealed like the other Pro lenses? Yes, 100%. It's IPX1 tested, Dave. Good question. With all the lineup, it's absolutely on that top par. So yes. Do you want to pick out a couple of questions, Claire?
Yes. Let's have a look. Janet is asking, what is the angle of view at 8mm?
Oh, that's interesting. I do have a spreadsheet here, and we will put that up in the comments.
More or less? I don't remember.
It's 107.
Yeah, 107.
It's 107. Yes, it is.
And Hope is asking, Moises, which camera are you using for these shots with your 8-25?
This camera that is recording is the EM1 Mark II, but for these shots, I'm using the EM1 Mark III because the amazing and awesome Live ND feature that all of you, if you have it, should start using extensively because it's a big difference between this one and any other camera in the market.
Fantastic. Okay, let's have a look. Oh, look at that. This is your second image.
Love this image. I mean, this is like, it's like a fantasy. It's just the most incredible. You can't believe this is a real place. This looks like something made up, you know. When I saw this image originally, I was like, I love this image and I would so love to go there. Talk us through it, Moises. Tell us about this image.
Yeah, this place is a little bit what you say. It's really, I mean, you reach there and it's like it is. It's like it is in the photo. I mean, it's really magical. I mean, you wait to see an elf like with the arrow and the bow just there, and you say, oh, But in this case, no elf attacked me, and I could take the photos. And in this one, I was literally hanging of a tree. Okay, then I want to get a little bit height, and there is a kind of trees and a wall there. It's a and I went up, and I was between branches and like this, and I handheld like 6 or 7 seconds in this one, and
Wow.
it works really well. You can have a lot of different angles. You can use these. I have also some photos of specifically the waterfall, and I mean it's a fantastic place. It's very close to the photo that I took before, just a few kilometers from there. And
Fantastic.
you have to walk a little bit to reach here because so many people were accessing the place that they had to put a fence. So if you want to go here, you have to walk a little bit and pay a small fee on weekends. Okay. But it deserves, It's amazing.
Yeah, definitely. Michael says this is my favorite image. Yes, me too, Michael. I love that image. It's so cool. It's amazing. So just a couple of more questions. Graham says, would we need a very thin filter? Yes, you'd need less than 4mm or less, which is, pretty standard now on most wide angle lenses that are digital. You buy a top-end Pro filter that's 4mm and less because obviously you don't want a vignette. That's quite important.
I were using... Sorry, Claire. I was using a threaded filter here, and I was using a polarizer. Okay, just because the reflection of the water there. Then I wanted to eliminate the reflection a little bit, and I use the polarizer almost all the time. I just leave it threaded because it's really good, specifically when you are shooting this, and it works very well. No vignette. It works. I mean. It's not only threaded, it's threaded and useful. Okay, then I can tell this.
And we have a question, 2 questions about the manual focus clutch. So Mayland and Giles on YouTube has said, does it come with a manual focus clutch?
It does.
Yes, it does.
And it also has a lens function button, so you can program any of our features to the lens function button. And the other joy, it's got a slightly thicker focus rim. So when you focus ring, so where you can feel it a little bit more, and that I really like that. And the other thing is, of course, when you are in the closed position, you actually got a tiny little locking mechanism. Now you would have seen that on the 9-18, but it was a physical switch. With this one, you've got literally, you can hear it locking in. There's no force needed to unlock it, but you've just got that gorgeous satisfaction of it locking back into place when you're on the super, when you sort of finished and when you're zoomed out. And I absolutely love that. It really feels good in that respect.
Absolutely. And we've got a couple more questions. Does it have IBS plus lens stabilization similar to the 12-100 F4?
No, it doesn't have built-in image stabilization. So it doesn't have lens sync or sync IS as you're used to with the 300 and the 12-100. No, it doesn't. But, you don't need it when you have fantastic 5-axis image stabilization that we have in our bodies.
Exactly.
Okay, let's go over to the next image, shall we?
Let's have a look.
Oh, look at that.
Now that's a beautiful wide angle shot.
Yeah, I love that.
This is in the very north of Spain, in the very north of Catalonia. It's almost touching France. If you just wander a bit and just get distracted, you will be in France. Okay, then you walk a little bit and you say, "Oh my God, I'm in France," Then it's very, very at the north, and I think it's one of the most beautiful little beaches, rocky beaches that you can find in that I ever seen. Because if you go up, I have a drone. I checked this one with the drone, and it's like a circle, a perfect circle, with this small entry that you can see there. And after that, it has this rock. I mean, it looks that it has been artificially created to take this kind of photo. you know, in where I was there shooting myself, taking a selfie. And I was super scared because the camera was really, really in the edge. My tripod is very stable then, but when you see, I mean, it's a cliff, okay? Then it was in the edge of the cliff, then.
And that's
yeah,
you
this is
down there?
me. This is me. Yeah, this is my. If you check my right hand, I am shooting. You can you
With
see
the app.
the
Are you shooting
Yeah.
with the app? That's great.
yeah, because obviously I try to be alone all the time, okay? Because obviously for the obvious reasons, and yeah, I have to repeat this. I was really looking for this shot, okay? Because I was there. I knew that I wanted to go to this place, and the first day that I arrived, it was totally calm. The sky was totally blue. I mean, no shape in the waves, and it was really boring. Then I had to go back 3 days until I could get this photo. I fought for this photo a lot, okay? And finally I got it. Then
Yeah. I mean, and those shots that you go back for 2 or 3 times, you could, because you know that you're going to get something spectacular. They tend to be the better ones, because the first one you're like, yeah, it wasn't quite what I wanted, or the light wasn't right. Then you go back a second time, and when you keep going back, you finally nail the shot that you want. It's a relief, but it's also such joy, isn't it?
yeah, and it's so satisfactory. I mean, I always think that one of the best parts of being a landscape photographer is to go out and come back without any photo, okay? Because it's making you to have this happiness and this rush when you go to one place like this and shoot the photo, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, if you go out and you shoot amazing photos every day, then it absolutely, it's like, what's the point, you know? Okay, maybe it will be fantastic. I don't know. Maybe I'm pessimistic, or I don't know. But for me, I love so much to go back home with amazing photo, and I know that I love it because so many times I go just with average ones, you know? This place is fantastic. I drove a lot. This place is very far away from where I'm living, but I drove directly there because I wanted this photo for this event, and I knew that it would be wonderful.
Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful, and you're getting lots and lots of love for it. Everyone says it's absolutely fantastic.
Yes.
And did you use Live ND here, or were you a longer shutter speed?
I always use Live ND. Always.
Fantastic.
I mean, 85% of my photos are with Live ND, even if there is nothing moving. Guys, people who is watching, don't think Live ND like a filter, like when you put a physical filter in front of the lens, okay? Then remember, you are stacking photos when you are using Live ND. Then if you can shoot half a second, which is the minimum time that you can use the Live ND, then you will get like 2 more steps of dynamic range. You will get better colors. You will get a raw that you will not believe that you have it. I mean, it's this camera. It's a monster. There is no. I mean, okay. It's fantastic. Okay, I don't want to get excited because
no, it's good.
Okay,
it's
everybody
good.
try it. Okay, try it at home.
It is incredible.
You know, don't try this at home. Then in this case, it's the opposite. Try it at home. Try to do the same shot with Live ND and without Live ND. Don't worry about if there is not a waterfall to use a Live ND. In this case, okay, it was the foam of the waves and so on. Then you can say, okay, he used the little bit longer exposure to get. But forget about long exposure. Just try to use Live ND when you can slow the shutter speed until half a second. Then you will get so many benefits that you will get shocked, and you will use always Live ND. Actually, in the button in this button, I have the Live ND program. Then so you know that you can put the Live ND here. Mm-hmm. Then I press this one, I got Live ND. I press this one, I take Live ND off, and it's really, really practical. And since I'm using extensively, it's very practical for me.
Fantastic. And Tito is asking, how far were you from the camera for that shot?
I don't know. I can maybe. Look at the photo again. all the length
you've got to
of
be
the
you've got to
of
be
the rock.
20 meters, haven't you? You've
At
got to
least,
be
at least 20
Yes.
meters.
Yes, at least. Okay, it was all the length that this rock and maybe 5 or 6 more meters. Yeah.
I mean, I've just got to quickly read a comment from Tom Ormerod, who is our landscape ambassador. He said he went very near there 4 years ago, but didn't actually go there, which made me laugh because now, Tom, guess what? You got to get out there now.
You got to
you've
go
seen
there
these.
now, Tom.
He's got like a bit of envy there, which I think is brilliant. So well done from Tom for that.
Tom, get in touch if you go closer to any of these places that we will meet and we will shoot together. It will be fantastic for me. I'm absolute fan of Tom. Yeah.
And you're getting a lot of love, and a lot of people have been checking out your Instagram.
Yeah.
So you're getting a lot of love from that as well. Yes, so let's go to the next image. I love this. I mean, if you've ever...
Brilliant.
I just think this is incredible. If you've ever thought about going on a caravanning holiday...
This is this your caravan holiday?
Yeah, it's almost like, you go to those beautiful cabanas and it's in the middle of the ocean. This is just stunning. Where is this, and where is this shot, Moises? I mean, does somebody
How
live
did
there?
How did you get the
No.
caravan?
Yeah. This is just by my house. Okay, then I drive 15 minutes. No, don't laugh.
Is it really 15 minutes? Wow.
Yeah, I drive 15 minutes from here. 15 minutes. It's just there. Then I have to walk a lot inside the water. My tripod lives inside the water. Okay, then and this thing is it was an old farm for seafood. Okay, actually they are cultivating mussels in this thing. Then they put these ropes. With something on there, then the mussels are. Then after that, they collect the ropes, and this is an old one. They are not doing this anymore. Then this is something that they bring here just to put things inside. Okay. Then right now is abandoned. Okay. Then because the water here is the deep is not enough now. Then they went like that way. Okay, and they created new ones. Okay, but this is like a photographer's paradise, okay? But it's not easy to shoot here because, first of all, you have to walk a lot inside the water. The water is more or less above the knees and under your hips. In this place, yeah. And if you get a dramatic day like this one, it rained a little bit this day. It's absolutely fantastic. Then also, we went here so many times. Then the other day we managed to shoot Milky Way with one of my friends standing on top of there. You can see it in my Facebook and I'm sorry in my Instagram, and it's really a really beautiful and nice place. Yeah.
I just think it is so unusual. I mean, obviously we get to see lots of landscape photography, where there would be something that's been there for many years. But I love this image because it's so unique, and I love the fact that we now know the story behind it. And I think this is just such a cracking image. It's just so unique, and I absolutely love it. When I saw it, I laughed, and then I was like, wow, I would love to take a picture. I would love to be there taking a picture of this one. And again,
you're invited, Claire.
Yay!
When any of you, when you come, I will just put you there and we will shoot together.
I will hold you to that.
What is usual to have here? What is good to have here? And you will say, okay, I never heard about this before. Maybe or yes, there are some things that you can buy in these very cheap places that are kind of a resistance that you can hit the lens. Okay. So the humidity is not blurring the main lens. I didn't need it with the 825.
Oh, interesting.
Because
That's good.
the fluoride coating.
Yeah, And I think this is something the basically what the fluorine coating does is it repels any liquid from the front of the glass. So you know it's a technology that's being used in things like car windscreens. When the water hits, it just basically repels off, and it's so much easier to just give your lens a wipe. You know, if you've got it a little bit damp. But I think that this is the joy with moving forward, and the new technologies that the new products that are coming are having, and the fluorine coating is one of them. It just sort of goes to show that, you know, R&D are still working, making all those new technologies and bringing them to you. So yeah, check that out. The fluorine coating is pretty amazing.
I have been one day here and I didn't come with any photo because all of them were blurred because of the humidity. It was in my lens, but with the 825 it didn't happen. Actually, as I said, I bought this one that you plug a power bank in and it's hitting the lens, so you avoid this. What with this day everything was okay. I mean, I didn't need it then. It was really fantastic. This place is amazing.
Good stuff. We've got a couple of questions. Craig says, what's the minimum focusing distance? Well, it's 0.23. It's 23 centimeters or 9 inches, depending on how you want it, or 0.23, depending on where you're from in the world. But we would say 23 centimeters, and that is across all focal lengths. I took some pictures of my dog running towards me, and literally she was full frame, just eyes and nose, and absolutely pin sharp. So yes, that's the question answered there. We got a few. Yep. Oh, great. So wonderful. They've answered that. You've got so much love. They've asked, have you done video with this lens? Did you do any video shooting with this lens?
Actually, I didn't have time because I had only 2 weeks and I was so focused in getting. I mean, I'm very selective with the images I take, you know, and for me it was like getting up soon, get the photos in the morning. No sky today sheet, I have nothing. Then tomorrow I will have to come back and like this. And actually I'm not used to take video, but what I will say is they have this ability of having from 8 to 25 that I think it have to be very useful for video, and they have almost no distortion. Okay, then even if you are using for blogging or things like this with the camera like close to you, then it's okay. The shape of your face is obvious. Okay, it's a super wide angle. Then you will have the distortion of the wide angle that I want but you have the manual clutch and you have the IBIS in the camera. Then I think it should be absolutely great, like the 714. Yeah, it's more or less the same in this case. Okay,
good stuff. Right, okay, let's move along because we are just a few minutes over. That's fine. We are just a few minutes over. Obviously, we are going to, you know, you're going to stay with us. We're going to pop you in the background for a little while, in a minute. And while we get our other guest on, and then at the end, we'd like you to both come back on. But for now, thank you so much. Those images are incredible. We know that you've certainly picked up a few followers around the world. If you didn't if you haven't seen Moises' work and you love his Instagram feed, obviously follow him because the stuff is amazing. Thank you so much for explaining and showing us your images and for talking about the lens. And we will get you back in about 20 minutes or so. Speak to you in a minute. Moises. Claire, over to you.
Oh, they were some fantastic images, weren't they? And if you have got any more questions for Moises, then do drop them in the comments and we will come back to them at the end. But now we're going to bring on our next guest. So he is an Olympus explorer. He's a photographer and a videographer. And he has taken those stunning images that Gavin was showing earlier of lens. They're all shot by him. So I would like to introduce Justin from Montana.
Yay!
Hey guys, how's it going?
Hi, Justin.
Hey. Justin, lovely to see you. Thank you so much for joining us all the way. I know it's not too early in the morning there, is it?
Nope, it's almost noon here, so we're doing good. We're doing great. I'm finally awake.
Yeah, I mean, we did a few sort of setups, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's 7 a.m. there, and I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So yeah, apologies for that. Thank you so much for joining us. We are so pleased to have a guest from across the pond. Obviously, your Instagram is amazing. I'm following you now, and it's just been so good to start sort of seeing everybody globally and seeing our photographers globally and being able to introduce you to a worldwide audience even more than before. So, and it's always good for, you know, the guys in the UK and Europe to see you and to have a chat with you. So welcome.
Yeah, and your product shots, Justin, are utterly incredible. They are the most beautiful product shots I've ever seen. Whenever we do a launch, I'm like, yes, I want Justin's product shot, because they're just insane.
Yeah, thank you. Yep. I feel very lucky. I've been able to have the lens for a while, so like to shoot the product and then to also use it. So gotta take it to some very, very lucky or very beautiful spots. So feel very lucky.
Yeah, exactly. What a great excuse to get out and find somewhere new to shoot, or maybe reshoot what you've been shooting before with a different product. It always gives you that little bit of a buzz, doesn't it? When you've got something new to try out, you're like, yeah, you know, you get quite stoked for it, and I love that.
Yeah, it definitely does. Especially with this, with a little bit of extra reach and length, you can be a lot more selective and creative while you're doing stuff. So it's nice.
Wonderful. Okay, why don't we let's go over to your first image.
Perfect.
I love this. Tell us where it's shot and talk us through it.
So this is in Montana, up in the mountains. So what's kind of crazy right now is that it's everything. I mean, it's rainy today, but everything down in the valley is super green and summer's here. But if you get up into the alpine and the mountains, there's still 6 feet of snow up there, which is kind of crazy. So wanted to kind of go up for a mountain summit to see what we could find. We woke up at 2 a.m. to go up and climb, and then got up for sunrise. But yeah, it was super beautiful up there. Everything's still covered, and it's kind of fun to be able to test the wide and the tight ends of the spectrum with the lens up there.
Yeah, I love it. And of course it's snowing there, so I'm assuming that the weather sealing came in pretty handy.
yeah, definitely.
And the detail is fantastic, and the sharpness is great. And what ISO were you shooting at here? What was the?
So I think this was around 600, stopped down a little bit with kind of a slow shutter speed, but with IBIS it was totally fine. So
fantastic.
Kind of tend to rely on that quite a bit.
And are you tripoding with this one, or is this handheld?
All handheld. Kind of trying to like move light and fast in the mountains, so not carry too much weight with me, which is great for this lens.
Yeah, and this is the whole point about the Olympus system, isn't it? That if you are backpacking or, like you said, hiking, I mean, this is this is pretty serious climb in my book. I don't want to be taking a tripod with me, right? I want to take minimal kit. I want to be, like you say, light and fast and mobile and agile, and obviously the 5-axis image stabilization absolutely helps with that. You know, it makes it, doesn't it?
Yep, and kind of like Moises was saying, is like Live ND comes in clutch a lot too, is especially like scenes with less light or something. If you do want more stops of exposure to be able to work with in post, that's really beneficial to have, and you can shoot that handheld as well if you're careful about it.
Yeah, wonderful.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
So should we have a quick look or a long look at the next image?
Sure.
Oh, see, now this is just...
That is such a cool shot.
It makes you want to be there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's the similar shot where Moises was standing on the rock in the sea.
Yeah.
This type of image makes me want to go out and shoot. It makes me want to be
definitely.
part of the landscape. It makes me want to be out there. And again, talk us through it.
Yep. So this is a very similar spot. So the last image I took was kind of down on the far ridge you can see there. This one's up as we're approaching summit, getting closer, kind of following the trail and the tracks there, which is kind of a cool leading line. And what you can see is like we're walking right on the edge of the spine. So the snow is super hard and icy that morning. So we were able to stay on top, which was great. Just trying to be kind of mindful of the cornices that you can kind of see, like the spiky ridge right behind the subject there, just so those don't break off or anything. But yeah, it was a gorgeous morning with just enough clouds to kind of light the sky up and give us some pretty colors to work with.
And how high are you above sea level here? Do you know?
This is probably 5,500, 6,000 feet.
Wow,
what would the equivalent be? So I don't know.
Yeah, no,
off the top of my head.
Pretty
With
good.
converting.
I'm old. I still work in feet, so that's absolutely fine. Yeah. So I mean, our European friends, maybe they'll be like, "What's it in meters?" But for me,
maybe someone can tell us in meters.
doing everything
send us some comments. We need.
Exactly.
I'm curious.
But for me, it's all about the feet, not the meters. But yeah, just when it's that high, like you say, it's a long trek up, right? It's lovely, and the detail.
Here's a kind of funny testament too. Like if you scroll up here, he's actually what's in his hand. He's carrying an onion. He lost a dare to eat an onion at the top, so he had to bite into an onion and was crying at the summit.
And I'm assuming you shot all that on video.
Of course.
Yeah. So
I like that twist to the story.
Is this before the onion eating or after the onion eating?
This is before. Yeah. This is while he was still happy.
Yeah, he's like, I'm going to be your model. Thankfully, you took the shot before because I think he probably would have said no afterwards.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
I've ruined my luck with him.
We've got the meters. Tim has told us the meters. Thanks, Tim. It's about 1,700 to 2,000 meters.
Yeah, thanks, Tim.
And we've got a question from YouTube. Do you apply lens distortion correction when shooting with the 8mm?
I haven't actually used that. I'm trying to think. It might add it automatically in the software. I've never done it.
Yeah, it does.
I think probably yes, maybe. So I've filmed with the lens as well, and filming, I never apply any distortion correction or anything. So it's nothing that would be noticeable or that I'd really go out of my way to change. Photo softwares may do it just automatically, and but yeah, looking through the camera, lines stay straight and everything looks good.
And how did you find the lens for filming? We had a question for Moises earlier about filming with the lens, and he hadn't shot any video yet. Yeah,
it's becoming my new favorite. So it's like probably the first lens I grab, other than a prime or something fast if light's low, just because it's so wide and tight. So you can pretty much, and it has such a close focus distance, so you can kind of get really close shots. You can get those mediums, you can get tights even. And wide, so it's kind of a great all-around all-in-one lens to capture a lot of things.
And I agree. I mean, when I put it on the body and had it at 8mm, I'm like, yeah, I'm sort of used to seeing that focal length. And then when I zoomed in to 25, I was like, whoa, because you just sort of don't expect it in that respect. You're just sort of like, thinking, oh yeah, okay, this is a wide, and then it's like, oh my gosh, you forget how long 25mm is actually. It doesn't sound long, but it's the human eye sees it about 49 degrees. So if you double up the 25 to a 35mm sensor, it's about what the human eye sees. So you can also use this for street photography. You can use this for just a normal, this could be the sort of standard lens that sits on your camera. So it is quite a versatile lens in that respect, isn't it?
Yeah, and super multifunctional.
Yeah,
and something I guess that I really like too is so like when kind of like you mentioned, it locks down and then it comes out to actually use. But when it does compact really tight or really small, so it fits in a backpack really well. Doesn't take up too much size, so I can actually carry potentially other lenses into the mountains, or gear or food, whatever I need on that mission or adventure, which is really helpful as well.
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
All right, let's take another look. Let's take a look at your next image. Wow,
look at that
gorgeous.
Flare.
Love a bit of flare.
Love it.
Talk us through this one.
All right, so this is actually a giant island in Montana as well. If you kind of zoom in, you can see a person for scale way down, kind of silhouetted against the water there as well.
Oh yeah.
Which is cool. But canoed across really early in the morning and then hiked up to the top for sunrise. To kind of wait for it to come up and pop, and then to get the sun star, like the kind of flare with the rays coming out of it. I just stopped the lens down quite a bit. I think to f11, maybe a little more, to really kind of emphasize that as it kind of rose over the trees there. And there's a couple. I shot this was a really great scene because this is at the wide end of the spectrum. Zoomed in, you could really focus on the person and just kind of like, if you were to zoom this image in and just crop a square around that person, that's what it looked like, with the mountains a little bit bigger with some compression as well. So the 50 or the 25mm 50 equivalent there at the end of that spectrum was really nice for this scene as well.
Yeah, it's incredible just how well that lens handles the flare and shooting directly into the sun. It's just incredible.
Yeah, it's nice because the flare doesn't really bleed across the image, kind of like other lenses do, and it just really accentuates the sun star there.
Yeah. And was the sort of flare or the reduction of flare something that you really noticed with this lens? Yeah,
I really liked it. It's kind of because sometimes with some lenses you got to be kind of careful with the angle that you hold it at so it doesn't bleed across. But with this, you had a lot more flexibility and could actually compose the image the way you wanted. And kind of put the star where you wanted within the image and get what you were looking for.
So I just want to say, Sean Robert Ramuno says, haha, that's the guy who ate the onion, isn't it? Is that the same guy? You made him walk all the way down there?
Made him wake up early and canoe over there to eat the onion, yeah.
He must be a good friend, right? Because you know, they're not many people would do that for you.
I need to start filling my backpack with onions and just doing that.
Yeah, literally. I think this should be like a forever project. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, you know, big shout out to the guy with the onion. That's what I say.
Yeah, definitely.
Onion man.
Yeah, we should give him a shout out. I think only fair.
Definitely.
Let's have we got questions? Let's have a look. Obviously people are saying it's going to be good for astrophotography. Obviously I know that you would usually go bright, you know, sort of the 1.2s or the 2.8s, but this is still going to be good for astro. F4 is still okay, you know, don't get me wrong, there's definitely, as I said, if you're doing the night photography, I don't see why you wouldn't use this for astro. It's still in that sort of bracket, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, let's have a quick look. Claire, do you want to?
So we've got a couple of comments. We've got, I think this lens will be a great addition to my 12-100. That's from Sean, and Claire Williams says, sounds like a really practical lens. And we've had a question, have you tried to use the lens with gloves in the cold?
Yeah, so on those very first couple images, the snowy ones, I did wear gloves and I did not wear gloves. Worked really great. Like we've mentioned earlier, the focus ring is a little bit bigger. And so that's really nice for using gloves. And if you're filming with gloves on and put it in manual focus mode, kind of gives you a little more to grip onto as well, which is beneficial.
Fantastic.
Yeah, 100%. Tom Ormer says, great for star trails. Yes, absolutely. So, yeah, I can't bet Tom cannot wait to get his hands on it. Can you, Tom? Okay, we've got one more image.
We've got one image left, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Oh, look at that. Nice.
This looks like a climb away. This looks like a climb, Justin.
It's definitely some hiking there, right?
Yep. Yeah. It's funny because right now it's harder to get to, but it's relatively easy to access here in one of the national parks. I really wanted to use this to kind of play with and experiment with being able to put filters on the front of the lens. So using a neutral density to kind of slow things down and really slow that water. This is actually zoomed in. I'm guessing the focal length is probably around 17 millimeters, maybe closer to 20 to kind of punch in and emphasize the log kind of running across there.
Yeah.
But yeah, just playing with being able to put different types of filters, whether it's a V&D for video or a CPL or something, is a really nice feature to have in a lens with this much range.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And these are all shot on the EM1 Mark III, can I assume? Or are they shot with EM1X or?
All a couple M1X, but yeah, EM1 III for most of them.
Yeah, and I'm assuming again when you're off hiking, the EM1 Mark III is the one to carry, right? The smaller, lighter one, you know.
Yep, exactly.
And I absolutely love that. So let's have a look. You got lots of love for your images right the way through. People saying absolutely, Sean Roberts saying absolutely beautiful image. I mean, Sarah Mason says, I can't believe that shot at F9. Yes, totally is, Sarah, which is amazing. And
people want to see Onion Man walk the log there and eat the onion.
Yeah, we need. I think you're going to need to like show him on your Instagram.
Yeah, I think he's going to have to make a feature.
I need a series
now. Exactly.
Yeah. I'll go post it. Let me see if I can find a clip. I'll post it on my Instagram of him eating the onion at the summit there.
Oh, I want to see that. I totally want to see that. But yeah, so thank you, Cornish Blue Videos. We are so excited. That's going to be something that goes up.
It's a thing.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously you enjoyed using the lens, and is this the one that's sort of permanently attached to your camera now? I mean, you know, it's one of those, I mean, I know that when I get a new product, obviously they tend to, things like the 150 to 400, I had it and then it went away and then I had it again. So I didn't have it, you know, for a long term. But this one I'm going to be using all the time. I know I've only touched the surface with the little couple of hours that I had with the previous one. So yeah, this is going to be your sort of go-to from now on, Justin?
Yep. Yeah. So the 12 to 40 2.8 was kind of what lived on my camera for a while. But now that I've had access to this one for so long, this one just lives on my body, and it's kind of whether I'm biking, hiking, canoeing, doing whatever. It seems to be the perfect range for me. And then if I do want something tighter, I'll reach for more of like a telephoto specific lens almost. So this does a great job covering kind of the wide to the medium range that I like to shoot personally, like while I'm out moving.
Wonderful. Okay, so why don't we get Moises back in for the last sort of 10 minutes?
And thank you for those images, Justin. They were incredible.
Honestly,
thank you,
I mean, it's so, apart from the fact it's really exciting to actually meet you and talk to you, the fact that our global company is becoming so much more sort of interactive and we're starting to all know each other, we really love that. And the fact that we can, you know, share the show with your audiences, but share you with our audience, I think that is amazing. So
definitely.
Okay, there he is. Hello,
Hi,
Moises.
Hi back. Hello.
Hey.
I saw a question there asking for the sharpness of the lens in the corner, and it's a standard M.Zuiko Pro sharpness. I mean, it's just perfect, like all the other lens in all the other pro range lens, and I have several of them. Then all of them are fantastic in the center, obviously in the corners, and from F4. I mean, you don't have to stop down. If you stop down, maybe you cannot even appreciate the improvement. At F4, you can shoot and you will get perfect sharpness. And for me, sharpness is critical. If it's not sharp,
absolutely.
For me, if it's not super sharp, it's not passing the bar.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where obviously Olympus glass is pretty legendary and always has been. You know, even back in the sort of OM days. I mean, I'm old enough to know about 35mm film cameras and stuff, and I had an OM.
Not you,
I know, I'm only 21. But, you know, glass has always been our thing. You know, it's always been something that Olympus absolutely, the technology. And when you see the technology and when you see things like lens sync and fluorine coatings and all this extra stuff that's going in there, you know that R&D is pushing those boundaries, that they're still, making the technology that's in the future. And I think that this is something that we should all be proud of. And like you say, edge-to-edge sharpness from edge to edge is pretty awesome on this lens with all of our pro lenses.
Yes.
So let's have a look for some more questions. Okay.
A couple of people asked about use with the EM5 Mark III. Yes, absolutely perfect fit and, nice and compact and really well weighted with the body. So yeah, brilliant for the EM5 Mark III.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where because it's not huge, you could pretty much put it on everything and away you go. So, now we do have a question from Jack about how they use the files when shooting sort of the larger res files. I don't know if you can answer that in a fairly short answer, Justin. It says, could these two landscape photographers explain how they use the files that you get when shooting high res? Have you ever done high res with the landscape stuff?
Yep, I have a couple times. I'm trying to rack my workflow of what it was. I believe what I've done in the past is I think I've converted it to a TIFF and then worked with it that way, and it seems to be a little nicer for the computers to handle and use. Moises, have you have any experience with that?
What I am doing, as I said, I'm a sucker for sharpness and for to squeeze all the. I mean, I always say that if you use this camera like any other camera of any other brand or whatever, then you're losing things. Okay, this is obviously a camera. You have the aperture and the shutter speed and all this, but after that, you have a lot of extra things, of extra gimmicks or technology things that are really useful. And sometimes we forget a little bit to explain how useful they are. Then I use the high-res shot extensively, but not because of the resolution. I don't care. With 20 megapixels, I have more than enough. I use because this way I can overpass the Bayer filter. I get better dynamic range. I get better better noise ratio, and I get better colors, and I get less chromatic aberrances and aberrations and all these things. And then now that with this one, I was so happy because with this one I can use it handheld.
Yeah.
Okay. Then sometimes I use the high res, not because the high res, just because I cannot use Live ND.
Yeah.
Because Live ND, I only can use it with 0.5 seconds. If the action is happening faster, because I have a lot of light, then I switch to high res. Then I use the high res file like any other file because I don't care about. Then I just import it and I work with it like any other file. I recommend you to use it too, because the advantages that you get, maybe if you use Lightroom, maybe you are going to think that the image is a little bit softer, but just because the way that Lightroom is understanding the file, then if you put a little bit of clarity and a little bit of sharpness and like this, you will see that it's much more, it's really sharper. Okay. It's a fantastic tool too. Okay, but honestly, I was using a lot with my EM2, the EM1 Mark II, and I'm using a little bit less because the fantastic Live ND now. Okay, this is what I'm doing with the high res files. Yes.
Yeah, Tom mentions that high res mode is ace like Live ND, adds more dynamic range, which obviously is what you're talking about. A bit more sharpness, a bit more clarity, a bit more contrast, and that's exactly what you want with landscape photography, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, so go on. What were you going to say, Moises?
No, nothing. No, I was saying absolutely yes. I was saying yes.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay, Claire, what have you got there for us? So, do you want to go over the pricing again, and also when the date they're going to land, and when the date they're going to land?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can pre-order now, and they are priced at £899, $1099 and €999, and we're looking at the beginning of July for shipping and availability. So get your pre-order in nice and early.
Yes. Okay. So I think if you haven't got any more questions, I think we've gone through as many questions as we can. Obviously, follow both Moises and Justin on Instagram and see what they've been doing with this lens. I'm sure there's going to be more shots out there. I literally can't wait. Sean says, hats off to OM Digital for advancing our Olympus gear that we all love. Thanks, ladies, and thanks to our two awesome photographers. Sean, thank you. Thanks to everybody that's joined us, but mostly thanks to Moises and Justin, because obviously coming on at completely different parts of the world and giving us your experiences with the 825 has been brilliant. I'm sure we'll be having you on Coffee with the Clares again at some point.
And we'll make sure we send you a mug as well.
Oh, yeah, guys.
Perfect.
And the shirt, and the shirt, and the shirt.
And a shirt.
A shirt. You want a shirt and a mug?
We'll just send you a box of merch.
Yeah, get your box of merch out.
But no,
honestly,
it's been a fantastic session, and your images are utterly incredible. And I can't wait to get my hands on the 8-25 when I can, pry it out of Claire's hands.
Yeah.
I already asked for one.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much, guys. Really appreciate you coming on, and no doubt we'll see you again soon.
Sounds good. Thank you.
See you, Justin. Right. Okay. So, Claire, that was amazing.
What a great live. Yeah, that was brilliant. And thank you to everyone who's watched us across the globe. We hope to be back for much, much more of these, and tune in to, there's loads of workshops and lives and everything happening all over the world. So keep an eye out on all the different YouTube channels and the Facebook pages, because there's lots more to come.
Yes, we are now one big global, happy global Olympus family. The world is getting smaller, which means, we're going to be doing more things with our European, our American, our Australian friends, Olympus family. So it's great because we can introduce you to new shooters and new photographers, and I think that's going to be fantastic. So
wasn't it nice having photographers from around the world on? And thank you so much to Amanda and Charlotte, who's been in the background, and to Gavin and Sam, who are always there pressing all the buttons and making comments come up, because Claire and I are just like hands free and they all do it for us. So thank you to our wonderful behind the scenes team, and we can't wait to see you soon.
Wonderful. Thank you, guys. See you again soon. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.